In today's tutorial, we'll be creating a lightning strike from scratch. Most of the techniques I'm going to show you work in both HitFilm Pro and Express. You can find this effect free on the preset marketplace from HitFilm user RoamDog. I'm Javier Valbar for InScapeDigital.com. Let's get started. The way I began this effect was by going on YouTube and looking at footage of close-up lightning strikes. I would slow down the video so that I could see what was happening in each frame, and how each strike looked when it occurred. I learned that pretty much every strike starts with one or two white flashes, and usually they're so fast that the camera can't process it, so they don't fill up the whole frame. I also noticed that the bolt is usually a purple-violet color, which changes to fiery orange as it fizzles out. My process for creating the effect was similar. I'd go frame by frame, adding a little something into each. When played back, all of the quick parts would add up into one big visual effect. I filmed this scene on the upper floor of my house, and luckily it was actually raining at the time. Let's get started creating the initial flashes. I'll duplicate my footage and set the blend mode to add. Cut off both ends here so that it only lasts a frame or two. I'll let the next two frames be normal, then do the same thing. But this time I'm going to mask off the area near where the lightning will strike. Feather it and add the curves effect. Increase the red channel and decrease the blue until you have a hot orange color. This frame serves as sort of a preemptive flash of light. The next frame will have the white flash that only affects part of the screen. To do this, first create a white solid. Use the ellipse tool to draw a big circle mask near the middle. I'll feather it, and this is just to prevent the entire frame from being white. Now grab the rectangular mask tool and cut off the bottom third of the frame. I'll make this one last for 2 or 3 frames total. Now we'll have the lightning come in. I'll drop the lightning and electricity effect onto a plane and set it to add. Position the handles in the correct spot. Come into the controls panel and set the glow's opacity and radius to 0 for now. You might want to turn it on later, but we'll just keep it off. Down in the animation properties, set speed and jitter to 0 to keep it from moving. The wave scale controls how straight the lightning is. I'll set that to around 0.3. The twitch scale adds that sort of twisty distortion. I'll keep that low as well. Under branches, increase the quantity until you have a good number of pieces coming off of the core. Play with the min and max scale until it looks good to you. If you're not liking the overall look of the lightning, come to the top and adjust the seed value, which will randomly generate a new effect for every number. Come to the start and end properties and increase the width. Then go to core and raise the feather. This will soften the lightning branches gradually, making it look more realistic. Let's add a 3-tier glow effect directly onto the lightning plane. I use this technique frequently because it gives me full control over the radius and color of the individual glows. The first one I'll set the blend to add and make it a slight purple color. These other two I'll make more lavender and almost kind of pink. It seems like a weird color to make it, but if you Google lightning strike, that's what they are. These pictures also seem to be a single bolt of lightning, but I'm going to take creative liberty and keep the branches on my effect. You'll notice in these pictures that the end of the lightning that hits the ground is a fiery orange color. I'm going to use a pre-built light flare for this part. I'll go to Import Composite Shot, and we're going to use the train light from Radiance 2.0. If you don't have that already, you can download it for free from my website. Copy the point and plane into your main comp, and position according to your scene. Now, why does this not look right? It's because if lightning struck 100 feet from your house, the intensity of the light would blow out your camera's exposure for a couple of frames. Be sure to keep realism in mind when you're creating visual effects. It's easy to forget what the camera would actually see. So, on the first frame, I'll go into the hotspot of the flare and increase the scale. In the final shot, I didn't actually keyframe any of the light flare properties to go down, because there are a lot of them. Instead, I hid the disappearance of the layer by adding several other flashes, using the same techniques as earlier. Try making them different sizes, colors, and change their position in the frame. Let's make the lightning strike fade out. I'll come into the start and end properties and keyframe the width to go to 0. Remember that your effects are supposed to be very quick, and that the action will only last over a couple of frames. If you drag it out, it'll look fake. My final lightning strike lasted less than half a second. I also keyframed the different per-channel intensity controls in each of the glow effects to get a different color. That would take too long to show here, but if you slow down my final effect, you can see the colors changing. I started off white, then orange, purple, a bit more blue, and finally orange again as it fades out. I'll create a grade and add the heat distortion effect onto it. Trim the edges to last a little bit longer than the actual lightning bolt. Use the ellipse mask tool to draw a circle around the area that should be affected. Keyframe the opacity to have it fade out. The sparks that come from the stop sign are a particle simulation. The most important thing with this lightning strike effect is to have multiple things happening over a few frames. Try changing up the glow colors and mask out the flashes of light. Add light flares, lens dirt, and shake, and experiment with distortion effects. Don't forget to ground it in reality though. If you're not sure what to add next, refer back to actual lightning strike photos and videos. Let me know if you have any questions below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.